Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov Chess channel and welcome back to the TCEC season 23 bonus competition that's played now on the TCEC chess.com official website. Really wild things happen meanwhile in this prestigious super event. Really wild things changed because now in this tournament the Stockfish 15 engine is not in the lead. The KomodoDragon, the Dragon engine, took the lead, has now half of the point more than Stockfish 15, but also has one game less played than Stockfish 15. So for instance, if the KomodoDragon wins now one game more, then of course Stockfish will be 1/2 points behind the KomodoDragon engine, which is really wild. I'm not sure whenever this kind of thing happened. Basically it was a pure domination by Stockfish 15. Stockfish won every prestigious tournament in some computer chess championships and also some other TCEC competitions. So I'm not sure what is going on, but it's of course cool for us because we want to see some great duels also in the top engine war. So let's see now one game by the leader, which is now, as I said, the Dragon engine, and it was an incredible sharp tactical game with immortal tactics. It's probably even the best game I think so far played in this TCEC season 23 bonus competition. Its opponent was also a strong engine Tucano, around 3,400 rating points. So let's see now the game. The Dragon engine opened with the move e4. We have c5 by Tucano, knight to f3, d6, the French Sicilian. We have d4, which becomes now really an open Sicilian game. C takes d4, knight to d4, and now after move knight to f6, we have the so-called Anderson Sicilian. And okay, the idea is clear. We want to provoke a little bit this pawn to get advanced. e5 so far immediately is not possible because queen to a5 is going to happen. You lose the pawn, so that's why you have to prepare this move with the move knight to c3. So we have here knight to c6, which becomes now the 4 knights variation of the Sicilian, and now we have the exchange variation with knight takes c6 that was played by the Dragon engine. So b takes c6. Now black is taking towards the center. If you take, of course, with d takes c6, then of course the queens will be traded off. Then we can play bishop to g5, queenside castle, and the king will be in danger. So I think when it comes to development, white should be here much better. So okay, after move knight to c6, b takes c6, e5, and knight to d5. Let's stop and evaluate the position a little bit. Let's talk about again the common strategies here in the game. So okay, the idea of white in this particular position is to get a flank attack here on the king side somehow. It's not a pawn majority or something, but still you want to push on this side of the board because your pawn is advanced here on the e file, so it's on the king side, and it's advanced of course here already on the 5th rank. So that's your area that you're attacking. So we want to attack this square here when of course black is castling. We want to push f4, maybe even g4, f5, g5, and similar ideas. Black's idea, I think, in the near future is to break as a defensive strategy this space advantage that white has built here. Is trying to get some kind of an attack against this pawn on e5, and maybe also some kind of a queenside attack also with the move c5, d6, queen to b6, maybe attacking maybe the weak b2 pawn. So basically black is coordinating the attack towards the queen side. Black has also, I think, here some problems with the light square bishop. This is now the worst minor piece on the board because it's paralyzed here really by this pawn chain, by this blocked by this d7 e6 pawn chain that black has built here. So as I said, it's a kingside attack basically against the queenside attack with potential central ideas here that black can play. So here in the continuation, knight to e4. Also we have to notice here as a strategic element, white can use the weak d6 square. So in the continuation we have queen to c7 attacking immediately the pawn on e5 as we said in the beginning. So we have now f4, we have queen to a5 attacking now the king. You have to react with bishop to d2. So now queen to b6, and you see now with these maneuvers of the queen, okay, it is a little bit weird to play with the same piece twice or 3 times in the opening stage, but at least with these maneuvers black has provoked some weaknesses. At least black is not allowing so far white to castle and is attacking now simply the weak b2 pawn. If you advance the pawn of course to b3, then you are basically vulnerable with some dark square problems here on the queen side. So that's why many times you're just playing in these types of structures, in these types of ideas, sort of a poison pawn variation. You're allowing your opponent to take out the b2 pawn just in order to get some development, just in order to get some tempi against the queen. You're just attacking the queen further with your rooks, and also maybe with the minor pieces then in the later stage of the game. So that's why here the KomodoDragon engine allowed here black to take out the pawn, played simply on normal development, is hoping now that black takes, and now then we have the opportunity to castle, and then we could attack the queen. So let's see now what happens if you take queen with queen takes b2. Then of course we'll see we have to play rook to b1, and now the main line, it's not a mistake if black takes here, but it's a complicated game to play, I think, because after rook to b1 you have to play something like queen to d4, staying on this diagonal where the queen still is not allowing white to castle. Now white should play queen to e2, and there are now two choices basically what black could do. Black can play here the move bishop to b4, but bishop to b4 is risky because you get a tactical shot. I think white should be really familiar with this tactical shot if you reach this position. Rook to b4, perfectly fine. Knight to b4, and now knight to d6. Look at this. If you go to d8, the f7 is weak. If you go to f8, then queen to h5 is going to happen. So it's really an unpleasant game here for black. Instead of this move bishop to b4, you could maybe play the move a5, trying to get some kind of an escape route for the queen. You're trying to get the queen on a7, where the queen is still not allowing white to castle here. But then with c3, queen to a7, we can play c4 here from white's perspective, knight to b4, and then with bishop to e3, the queen is out of game. You have to play queen to c7, and now we can castle. Okay, black gain some material, but I think the activity of white's pieces is simply also here too much to handle. You can maybe try knight to d3, queen to d3, but look at this. You're now so vulnerable on dark squares. Bishop to b6 is an idea. Even bishop to c5 is here an idea, to maybe then to play knight to c5, and then again to get the knight on e4 and then cement the knight here on d6. If you play bishop to e7, I think f5 is also working here. So it's, I think, also an unpleasant game with knight to d6 idea. So you can play basically whatever you want. In every occasion, I think white is much better. So it's so complicated to take out this poison pawn. I really wanted to show you this theory because this could happen to you, so you want to then know what to do here from white's perspective. So okay, instead of this move queen to b2, the Dragon engine played rook to b8. Is simply improving a little bit the position on the queen side. We have now queen to e2, not allowing some annoying checks here, annoying knight moves, pardon me, here on e3, and now we have knight to b4 here by the Tucano engine. And okay, again, Stockfish, sorry, it's not Stockfish, it's the KomodoDragon engine. I'm a little bit mixing it up because here in this game the KomodoDragon engine will play exactly like Stockfish here with a really immortal tactical shot. So after move knight to b4, here again the KomodoDragon engine developed. Simply, it's not playing some weird moves, escaping with the bishop or something. It's not even trying to get rid of this knight on b4. It's simply playing a beautiful developing move. So rook to d1, we have bishop to e7. If you take now knight to d3, it's a little bit too slow to make progress here, because queen to d3 comes with a double function. Look at this, we're still controlling further the d6 square, and now from this square the queen can be also maneuvered to the square g3. Let's see now, you play maybe queen to b2. This wasn't played in the game, but it's really interesting what happens if again black takes out the poison pawn on b2. If you take queen to b2, then kingside castling, bishop to e7. You want now finally to secure the king by castling, but it's not working. Bishop to c3, you're playing maybe here queen to b5. You want to trade off the queens, simplify the game, but it's not working because of this idea queen to g3, as I said. Now if you castle, then f5 is going to happen. Look at this, f6 in some occasions, knight to d6 is working in some occasions, even knight to f6 is working. F6 is also an opportunity if you don't react. So too many attacking opportunities here in white position. So black, I think, is defenseless against this attack. So this is not working. So see, knight takes d3 in this particular position, it's simply too slow. You're giving up a powerful knight. although we have to say the bishop on d3 is also a powerful piece, but you're not developing your pieces fast enough. So that's why after move rook to d1, the KomodoDragon engine played bishop to e7. Now we have c4. We want to play also c5, finally getting rid of one of these pieces, maybe the bishop or the queen. Here we're trying to paralyze this diagonal. In the continuation, we have knight takes e2. Again, if you try knight takes d3, then of course queen takes d3. Okay, let's see again what happens if you play queen to b1, queen takes b2, pardon me. Then we got kingside castling, and now with rook to b1, we are threatening this tactical shot on the b file. So again, you should escape with queen to a3 or something, but now with bishop to c3, knight to d6, we can again occupy the dark squares, and again, in my opinion, white should be much better, especially because of the problems on this square d6. So that's why as for move c4 here, the Tucano engine took knight takes a2. We have bishop to b1 attacking the knight. We have queen to b3, and now kingside castling clear played by the KomodoDragon engine. We have bishop to a6. So this game becomes now really wild. So after move bishop to a6, finally the Tucano engine developed the worst piece on the board that we have set, but it comes now with a beautiful tempo. It comes now with a beautiful attack against the pawn on c4, and many of us, I think, would start to sweat now, would say, okay, what went wrong in this position? How could I allow this? But actually, whenever you get attacked in chess, you should find at least some kind of an idea how to counterattack. So that's why here the normal idea is to play queen to g4. You should not panic, because obviously black needs now to react. Black needs now finally to defend the g7 square. If you take, of course, bishop to c4 too early, then we'll simply take it out. Queen to g7, you have to play some ideas of rook to f8, and now you get simply out of this mess with rook to e1. Now there are opportunities, knight to d6, knight to f6, maybe even f5, bishop to g5. I'm not sure which move is really the best, but I think with the king in the center, black is probably losing the game. So that's why after move queen to g4 here, the Tucano engine played g6, and now comes what is, in my opinion, one of the most important moments of the game, even one of the most beautiful moments of the game. Maybe you can pause the video and try to see now the best continuation here for white. So take your time, try to be sort of an attacking beast here, try to play like the KomodoDragon engine, or maybe like the Stockfish 15 engine. Okay, take your time, at least try to see good attacking opportunities here for white. So maybe we can use also this beautiful game as sort of a strategy slash tactics practice here on my channel. So okay, after move g6, really wild things happened, because here the Dragon engine pulled off a beautiful and sharp move, f5. f5 is so brilliant because basically you can do only one thing. You can only take, I think, here with the e pawn. If you play g takes f5, then again queen to g7 is coming in a beautiful way. That's a position that we wanted to not allow here from black's perspective. Now rook to f8, look at this again, knight to d6 is going to happen. You have to take, and now you're simply vulnerable on dark squares. Queen to f6, bishop to g5 is going to happen. The d6 is supported by the rook on d1, so this is now the most important piece even on the board. So you could maybe try here bishop to c4 after move f5, but it's simply too slow. Again, we play here f takes g6, h takes g6, and now even this stunner is working. Rook to f7 breaks the position here. This is a mortal tactical shot that would probably happen, but it didn't happen because, of course, Tucano didn't play this line. We have king to f7. Now look at this, knight to d6, bishop to d6. Now bishop to g6. You don't want to even take out this bishop. It doesn't matter. This is now the most important attack. Maybe the king can escape here to e7, but now we play bishop to g5. Now we play this one. Now the queen is coming into the game, and with queen to f7, a beautiful checkmate pattern here by white. So as I said, it's not working. Bishop to c4 is not working. This g takes f5 is not working. So that's why here Tucano took with the e pawn, e takes f5. And okay, this creates now new problems in the game, because now the e file is open. So if you take with the g pawn, then the g file is open. When you take with the e pawn, the e file is open. Now queen to f4 here, played by the KomodoDragon engine. If you take, of course, then you lose the battle here around the square f7. So that's why rook to b7, because also look at this, there is also the threat of e6. If the rook stays here, e6 is also an attacking idea. Then the rook is hanging here on the b8. So that's why we have here rook to b7. If you try to castle maybe too early here, this wasn't also played in the game, then you get this one, knight to f6. Look at this, bishop to f6, e takes f6, and now again you're vulnerable on dark squares. The queen will sneak in order just to prolong the game. You have to play king to h8, queen to h6. You have to defend the position with rook to g8, but now bishop takes a2, queen to a2, and now this is this checkmate pattern. You're playing maybe bishop to c4, but now you can even sacrifice the queen. After king takes h7, you can play a beautiful checkmate here with the rook on h3. The pawn on f6 is not allowing here the king to escape. So this is really stunning. So that's why after move queen to f4, as we said, you cannot take out this one. You have to escape with the rook. That's why here after rook to b7, knight to d6. Here we have bishop to d6, e takes d6, and finally the e file is open. And from this point on, really white is taking over. White is now building a really nice attacking formation. So here finally kingside castle, but basically you are running into white's attack. You have too many dark square problems here. We have here so we have here now rook to e1. We're trying to get this rook on e7. We're trying also to get the queen. Bishop to c3 is an opportunity. So first we want to, of course, play something like, I don't know, bishop takes a2, then bishop to c3. So this queen and bishop idea is working around the square g7. So we have now queen to b2, attacking the taking the pawn, but also attacking the bishop. Rook to f3. Here the dragon engine builds a nice rook lift. Is trying, of course, to include now all of the pieces into the game. And we have now rook to b8, and now bishop to f5. This was now a really nice tactical shot again by the dragon engine. If you take, of course, g takes f5, then of course you get rook to g3. You have to escape with king to h8, and now with bishop to e3 we are preparing an annoying bishop to d4 move, which creates, of course, an annoying check. You just can prolong the game with c5, bishop to c5, and basically the game is over. There's no good counterplay against this move, so it's not working. So after move bishop to f5, you cannot take here the bishop. That's now the most important thing here. We have queen to f6, we have queen to e4. Again, if you take here g takes f5, again the same tactic, rook to g3, king to h8, and now you get even this one. You get queen to e8. If you, of course, go here to f8, then we have queen to e7, queen to e7, and then here d takes e7, king to e8, and then rook to g8 is also a beautiful checkmate. So here after move queen to e4, so again you don't have time to take out the pawn on f5, so that's why we have queen to d6. At least the Tucano engine got rid of this very annoying pawn on d6, but now the game is not getting better because bishop to h6, and now there is this threat of queen to e8, sacrificing the queen, rook to e8, and it would be then a beautiful checkmate. So that's why black needs to play rook to f8, covering now the 8th rank, but now queen to h4 is sneaking in here. We want to somehow maybe deflect the queen, get the queen on f6, and deliver checkmate on g7. Rook to b8, we have a rook to e3, bishop to c4, finally by the Tucano engine. Again, as we said, g takes f5 is never working because of rook to g3. So rook to e3 here played by the dragon engine. Bishop to c4, queen takes c4. So it was really desperate here move by black. Black didn't have any better chances. The pieces are playing in perfect harmony here by white, so white is winning here the game for sure. So knight to b4, queen to c3, threatening checkmate on g7. We have f6, rook to e7. The rook is gaining on a nice square here, is threatening here a very annoying check on g7. Here in the continuation we have knight to d5. It creates a fork, but just temporarily, of course, because rook to g7 is a possibility. King to h8, and now queen to h3. Now look at this, the queen is coming already on the file where the king is now. There are, of course, some tactical threats with bishop to g6 opening up the h file. So if you take now g takes f5, this is also not working because of queen to f5. There's not a good way now to protect the h7 square, so it's also also not working. So after move queen to h3, we have rook to e8. We have now rook to e8, rook to e8, and now a beautiful tactical shot again. Rook takes h7 is winning the game, because you have to play now king to h7, and now bishop to f8 creates a discovered attack against the king, but the queen is on a dark square and it's winning the game for sure. So bishop to d6 was played. We have g takes f5, queen to h5, we have rook to d8, queen to g6, a check, and now again a beautiful move, bishop to e7, knight to e7, but now with the check we can also take out the knight. The rook is hanging, you have to step back, but now here the KomodoDragon engine took a very important pawn. The game wouldn't be so clear if, of course, black has here two connected pawns in the center of the board. It's still winning for white, but it's more complicated to play, of course, the game now. When we got rid of the d pawn, all of these pawns are isolated, and this is not a good game for black for sure. So rook to f6, queen takes a7. As you see, white is just grabbing more of these pawns. Queen to d7. Now g4 is here, an even opportunity. Queen to g4, and in this position the Tucano engine resigns. So really interesting attack, I think, by the KomodoDragon engine. I really loved this French Sicilian ideas. So it's this exchange variation with the move e5, and I think you have to be familiar, as I said, with its poison pawn ideas, with these ideas that actually you should not worry so much about your bishop on d3, because still you have some ideas of knight to f6, knight to d6. The dark square problems, I think, here are huge positional problems in black's game. So in my opinion, this is really an instructive game in these types of ideas. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed the game. As I said, the KomodoDragon engine is in the lead. I'm not sure how this tournament will end, but it's of course very interesting for us to see also another engine that can compete with the brutal Stockfish 15 engine. If you want to see more of these beautiful games played by Stockfish, Alpha Zero, Lila Zero, Dragon Engine, many more, check out our Common Chess Games Played by Computer series. Here's the link of our whole playlist. We have more than 300 games of this brutal top engine games, and if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what to say, chess is the best, of course.